You do have guidance, but you've got to pay attention to the harmonics within your being in order to know harmony or discord. Or we like to say, in order to recognize allowing of who you are or resistance of who you are. So you are source energy. You came forth into a physical body. Do you believe that? You are source energy and you are extended here into this physical body. And in doing so, the non-physical part of you is flowing with you. And when you were first born, there was very little difference in the vibration of you as non-physical and the vibration that you became as physical. Some slight variance, because being born causes a realization, an assumption, a recognition, an observation. Even that infant is observing the time-space reality into which it is being born. It was observing what it felt like in your belly. So now this infant comes forth into physical experience, and now there is the first opportunity, as far as you are concerned, for vibrational allowing or resisting, because now there is the energy that is really you. You know, the larger part of you remains in non-physical. People say, oh, Abraham, if physical is so great, then why doesn't the non-physical come here and be with us? And we say, that's like saying, oh, if being a toaster is so great, then why doesn't the electricity become a toaster? And we say, both parts help. Both parts help if you want toast. So the non-physical part of you remains in non-physical in the sense that the fullest part of you is not projected into this body. The fullest part of you is the vibrational culmination of all that you have been. It is the pure positive energy stream. It is the source of you. It is the God force of you. It is pure positive energy, meaning it is without resistance. So as you come forth into this physical body, now you have the opportunity of separating that vibration just a little bit. When you sleep, there's no separation. When you're mad, there is. When you're in love or in joy, there's no separation. When you meditate, there's no separation. When you're frustrated, there's a slight separation. When you are feeling despair, there's a bigger separation. So the way you feel and the severity of the badness or the goodness of the way you feel is your indication of your alignment or not. So these 2 points of you play off of one another, always to help you know how you're doing in relationship with how you really are doing. So we think you can get it pretty easily that you were before you came into this body. That's not hard to acknowledge. And we can feel you coming along with us, that you were before you were in this body, and then a part of you came into this body. We can feel that you can easily acknowledge that, and we can feel that you can tell that it makes sense that your emotions would give you an indication of how well this part of you is lining up with this part of you. And since this part of you is dominant, we promise you, when you get irritated about something, or when you are frantic about something, or when you are worried about something, the source that is you never comes there to join you. Never. The source part of you always remains in that place of knowing and of well-being and of love and of the furthest extension of that which you are. And it's up to you, if you want harmony, to go to where the vibration of you really is. It's your choice, of course. You can go and feel good, or you can not go and feel bad, but it is your choice. That sounded a little parental, didn't it? Well, we are very sure of ourselves. We know who you are and we know how that feels, and we want you to come join us, but it really is up to you. We are not wanting you to feel that we are seeing you as wrong when you don't come. We're just seeing you as not feeling good when you don't come, and we'd rather you feel better. That sounds a little parental too, doesn't it? So, but here's the part that we think you might not really be following along completely. This is the leading edge part of this seminar, that once you get it, it will be so valuable to you. And that is that the eternal you from non-physical projected part of itself into the you that you know as you for a very important reason, for the thrill of the leading edge expansion. So when that non-physical you is expressing through you, and you're having a contrasting experience, which you do all day, every day, where your preferences are born, here's the new part that we want you to get. A rocket of desire is born in that moment. In other words, whenever you know what you don't want, you know more clearly what you do want. And there are all levels of intensity of that, of course, but you are a preferring fiend. You just can't stop coming to new preferences. You can't shut that down. It's the eternal nature of this eternal universe. So it happens. And as that rocket of desire is born, here's the new part, the source part of you rides it and literally becomes it. So when you prefer something, source becomes the vibrational disembodiment, if you will, the vibrational mirror or match or beingness of that which you have preferred. And we call that evolving you that has happened as far as we're concerned, because we're there living it, being it. We call that your vibrational escrow, meaning it's there for you. You've made the contract, you've signed the deal, nobody else is going to walk away with it. It's there just waiting for you to come over there. And if you will follow your bliss, as Joseph Campbell so perfectly stated, you'll find it. In other words, it's over there where bliss is. The thing about following your bliss is that when you're really depressed, you can't get a whiff of it. And when someone says follow your bliss when you're depressed or when you're angry, they might as well be saying fly to the moon, because you have about as great a chance of doing that in this moment with your arms flapping as you do about following your bliss, because you cannot find your bliss from there, not immediately, but you could follow the direction of your bliss. In other words, you could go in the direction of your bliss. The thing that we want you to understand is following your bliss from a place of depression doesn't feel so blissful. It feels more revengeful. What do you think about that? Do you get it? That over there where you feel awful is your perception of disempowerment, and over here where you feel wonderful is your perception of empowerment. And these emotions, like love and appreciation, are a far cry vibrationally from these emotions and vibrations of despair and fear and depression. But between depression and joy are a lot of different emotions. Revenge and rage and anger and overwhelmment and frustration and hoping and believing and knowing. In other words, and many, 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 many more words could be added to this depending upon what the subject of your attention is. But we want you to understand that there is a vibrational progression, and you cannot jump from there to there. It's like your radio dial being set at 6:30 and you demanding that you hear what's being broadcast on 98. Can't do it. You've got to change your frequency. So you say, well, I can change the dial on my radio with a push of a button. And we say, you can change your vibrational frequency. You'll get better and better and better at it. But we've never seen anyone jump from here to over here. It's a gradual process, and if you will accept that it is a gradual process, then you'll stop being mad at yourself as you are along the way. As Jerry and Esther are traveling from city to city, they don't get 20 miles out from their starting point and then begin arguing with each other about whose fault it is that they are not at the end of their 500 or 600 or 700 mile journey. Often they'll drive that in a day, and they accept that it's going to take some time. Most of the time they're driving. In fact, all day long, they're not where they intend to be at the end of the day. But it doesn't mean that where they are along the way is wrong. And yet, you often are on your way from one place to another place, and you're saying, wrong, 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 not there, 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 not there. And what happens when you're doing that is that you're not making any progress, because you say, hope we get there, wrong, not there, not there, not there, not there, not there, not there. The whole time you are unhappy about being there, you're pointed in the opposite direction. And when you're pointed in the opposite direction, you're not getting there. And so you want to be there, but you're not there. You want to be there, but you're not there. You want to be there, but you're not there. You want to be there, but you're not there. And then you say, oh man, this takes way too long. And we say, no, it doesn't. Just point toward what you want and keep moving in the direction of it. And here's the point that we really want you to get. In the moment you get pointed in the direction of what you want, you will feel better immediately. It's only pointed in opposition that feels worse. Pointed in the direction of what you want always feels better, even though you may be miles from being there. Pointed in the right direction always feels better. You know that, don't you? Have you ever been slow in traffic here? Well, it could happen. And it's not moving at all. It's not moving at all. And then it starts to move just a little bit. Doesn't it feel ever so good when it starts to move just a little bit? Because there's hope. When it begins to move just a little bit, you begin to feel hope, you see. And what we want you to learn to do is to be hopeful even when it isn't moving. Not because we want you to think that your hope will make the traffic move, but because, get ready for this, you're not used to this, hope feels better. We'd rather you're stuck in traffic feeling hope or joy than stuck in traffic feeling anger. And you say, well, then get the traffic moving. And we say, this is not about the traffic moving. This isn't about getting you to where you think you want to be. This is about getting you to the place of feeling good wherever you are. Oh, Abraham, that's not the seminar I signed up for. I came because there's stuff I want that I don't have. And you're telling me that you're not even interested in helping me get it? Pretty much. We don't want you to get your heart set on that, because it won't be the end of what you want. And if you get fixated on the thirst or need to fulfill your manifestation, then you'll lose sight of the greatest gift of life, which is traveling from place to place. So when you get it that, oh, you'll get there, you will. You can't not get there if you point it in the direction of it and you keep moving. You'll get there. You have to get there. All you got to do is close the vibrational gap. You do that when you croak. We just want you to get there before you croak. We want you to learn that you have control over the way you feel, which means you have control over your alignment with you, which means you have control over your vibrational stance, which means you have control over your point of attraction, which means you can match what's in your vibrational escrow, which you really, really want. You've been adding to it incrementally, always. You can match it or you can mismatch it. It's all your choice. It's just that you feel so much better when you're being who you are. Sometimes we think you're like a two-headed monster. One head's going one way and one head's going the other. Extremely unpleasant. And here's maybe what we want to tell you. Try to make it sweet. The non-physical head is dominant. Go with it. But this two-headed monster, does monster offend you? Good. This two-headed monster that you are, the source energy part of you, is dominant because it knows the well-being of your being. But then the head of the monster that is you came into the physical wanting to explore the contrast and really wanting a variety to choose from. And so that part of you is exploring and deciding. And what we want you to understand is that while the non-physical head of the two-headed monster is the dominant one, you're the one calling the shots from this perspective. You're the one that is on the leading edge. You're the one that is exploring the contrast, and you are the one making the decisions. And the source energy part of you is saying, you should know, friend, you're out there on the leading edge. You're deciphering it fully. And I trust you completely in your choices, because no one would know what you want more completely than you right there where you stand. So when someone's rude to you, you want them to be nicer. When someone cheats you, you want them to be more honorable. When someone tells you one thing, when they really mean another, you want them to be more credible.